What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to be talking about something that, I really didn't want to talk about, but I feel like I should be using my platform to discuss, and that is the European International Championships registration that happened yesterday, or the debacle there was. So we're going to talk about what the European International Championships are, what happened with everything, what I think should have been changed, and why it was kind of a disaster across the board. Now, let's switch scenes to this. The European International Championships. So, in the Pokemon circuit, there are 4 international championships that are the more prestigious tournaments of the year: Latin America, Oceania, Europe, and North America. Now, these tournaments are meant to have some of the world's best players show up, compete for international glory effectively, and it's kind of a spectator thing for everyone back home. And for players in Europe, this was their best chance to earn championship points to qualify for the World Championships, which was going to be in their home country, or not country, but I guess home continent is a more accurate way of putting it. And to put in perspective, the last Masters TCG tournament had, in Europe, for the internationals, had 819 Masters. I think for video game, it was like a little over 400. Someone can correct me. And this is for the Masters division. So what happened yesterday when we were about a month away from the event? Now, leading up to the event, the Play Pokemon website, our Twitter account, tweeted that we would have, an announcement for when registration would go live, so we wouldn't have any sellouts and nothing crazy. And so everyone was expecting an announcement all of last week. Myself and a lot of other players were sitting there waiting, basically refreshing on the hour to see if registration would go up at any given point. And that was, frankly exhausting to do for over a week. I would prefer in any world if we were just told hey, on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, it's going to go live, so please be ready. And then we just fight for it like we would for a concert. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And I feel like that's the most fair way to do it. Because lottery, you get screwed out because you didn't get lucky enough sometimes. And then this method of shadow dropping screws over people who are not addicted to their phones. Now, for myself, I was lucky enough to make it into the tournament, but let me talk to you guys about why it was bad in general still. So registration went live completely randomly on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 28th of March. Now, there's multiple reasons why this was wrong and not great. That's I think 4 or 5 p.m. over in Frankfurt time. So I guess people were still getting off work, getting home in Europe, which is a bad time. People are probably heading home from Liverpool still. I know our former international champion, Nico, who just won the last one, Nico Alabas, did not have a chance to register because he was currently on a flight heading home, which is ridiculous. The 3-time international champion, Tord Reklev, and recent regional winner and world champion, Robin Schultz, both almost didn't have a chance to register because they were also on a flight, and they literally landed, immediately checked their phones because it was being blown up, and they were like, oh shit, we got to register right now. That shouldn't be the case. That should not be the case as to what happens. Popular content creator Azul and top player did not make it either. Zach Lesage did not make it either. Some of these players on the West Coast did not get a chance. It was 7 a.m. on the West Coast. I think 1 a.m. Australian time, so some of those top players didn't get a chance either if they weren't awake. Yeah. And that being said, we were given no transparency on when we would get the release date of the registration, despite being told that there would be an announcement, something that would be told to us. Really frustrating to have that happen because a lot of players were, looking forward to having the Play Pokemon page tell us in advance, what's going to happen, when's going to happen, etc., and none of that happened. Secondarily, we were not informed about any numbers about cap. Yes, maybe with COVID, definitely with COVID, there's a smaller cap, something going on here, but we were told no numbers, so there's no hope if spots will open up either. We're a month out, and this is an international travel for a lot of players. So, yes, if you have a refundable flight, I guess you can hold on till the last minute, but players are getting nervous this close out. I know 2 people in my group personally didn't make it because, they weren't awake. And, yeah, that sucks. It is what it is. But this is just incompetence. This is ridiculous. It's upsetting on so many levels. I have more thoughts, obviously, but it's hard to put into words. So anyway, then we go to registration info. The tournament so far has maxed out on both TCG Masters and VGC Masters have both capped. And now let me tell you why I think it's going to be difficult for more slots to be opened up. Both those divisions have maxed, and for example, if I look on TCG here, I can see that there's 605 players registered, but that's across all divisions, I'm pretty sure. So I would guess that our number is closer to 450 maybe. Maybe lower, like maybe like 400 Masters, which is ridiculous because that's half of what EUIC was prior. And for VGC, I think they're capped at like 270 across all divisions also, and 228 is a very important number for both money and kicker points. So that's really unfortunate for them if they don't get to that number as well. And so why I think that more slots will not really be opened up to a tremendous amount is that Master Division players for both TCG and VGC, we start on Friday, April 22nd, but juniors and seniors do not start until Saturday, April 23rd. So maybe the consideration for the cap for Masters was made in mind, knowing that juniors and seniors will not start till Saturday. Therefore, the only people playing on Saturday alongside these juniors and seniors will be the Masters Division TCG and the Masters Division VGC. So that's the spacing issue. And then you have Pokemon Go running on Friday and Saturday of the event, and then Pokken running on Friday and Saturday of the event too. So Masters, TCG, and VGC will be sharing the venue hall with Go and Pokken on Friday, and then Saturday, basically top cut for both of those divisions, as well as juniors and seniors will begin. So I don't know if many more slots will be opened up. I am hoping and praying that something changes in a second wave, or like maybe Go players or DX players slots get allocated if their turnout doesn't seem big. But we are like, I don't know, in 3 weeks, I will literally be in Frankfurt. Like on the 19th, I will be in Frankfurt. And this is crazy to think about, that the tournament is like a little over 3 weeks away, and this is the first registration, first clarification we're getting of it. Now, to rub even more salt in the wound, the Pokemon Twitter ended up tweeting out register for the International Championships at about almost 5 p.m. Pacific, 9 hours after registration sold out. Like a full 9 to 10 hours after registration sold out. And, well, they're getting their ass beat in the quote retweets. They're getting ratioed by Ian Robb. Like, this is probably one of the boldest tweets that I have ever seen. And I can't fathom like what went on here. I know that Arcanine Labs was in charge of taking care of registration. So if you guys ever want to be on top of things, please make sure you follow these guys. Make sure you follow and like turn on notifications, because all they really ever post is important information. It's always just pertinent information. So they had the registration up super early, as soon as they made it live, more than likely. And Arcanine is wonderful people. So please make sure. But please be vocal about your grievances about what happened with this incident, even if you did not qualify, because this sets a really bad precursor for the rest of the season. This sets a really bad precursor for Indianapolis, New Jersey, North American Internationals, because even though the venue is pretty big, like this venue is supposed to be really big. Like this venue is meant to be pretty huge and can hold a lot of people, and yet it seems like VGC's capped at like 200 Masters, TCG's capped at like 400 Masters. Like I don't know if like we rented like a really tiny hall for some reason, or all of that, but it's just really frustrating to see as like a fan of the game, as someone who loves playing. Like obviously I'm going to benefit from there being a smaller tournament. There shouldn't be an asterisk next to this tournament, but there is going to be a lot of top players that did not get the chance to qualify based on nothing besides like they weren't on their phones or computers at the time, like, which I think is not how you should determine. Like there should be some semblance of Pokemon wanting to have their top players travel out to these events and kind of highlight them, because besides us as a community caring about the game, it feels like we get constantly shot in the foot by TPCI and organized play over and over again. And it's just really frustrating as a player because we get beaten down by things like this constantly. And I'm just hoping they're listening. I'm hoping something changes, because it just sucks as a player. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just like say this is okay and move on with my life? Like, I don't know. This genuinely makes me terrified for the rest of the season and registration. Yes, Worlds, we get our individual links, but so I'm not worried about that. But like NAIC is going to be a clusterfuck. The rest of the regionals for the season could be a clusterfuck as well. Like Salt Lake City didn't cap, yes, but there's a pretty good chance that something in the future can cap of similar like sizing. Like, I think Indianapolis has a reasonable chance of capping. I think New Jersey has a chance of capping. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to like kind of get this off my chest, kind of talk, because it's been eating up at me, like all day, like for the past like 24 hours, like having to explain to my two friends who are asleep that they got absolutely fucked. Like it's not a good feeling. Seeing a bunch of my other friends that didn't make it, fellow competitors, people that I respect greatly that didn't make it to the tournament. It hurts. It just hurts as a fan of the game. It hurts as a player. It hurts as a spectator. It hurts in general. So yeah, I'm just hoping more spots open up in general. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys will see me at UIC, so I will be participating. I will be in Frankfurt, and I will do my best. I feel like there's a little bit more of a responsibility on me to perform now, given all the circumstances. But yeah, that's it. That's it for today. That's all I have to say. Sorry, guys.